Good evening. Welcome to the Bobby Moore Stand. The game finished. West Ham United 1, Spurs 1 in what was a very, very uninspiring game over at the London Stadium today. Good evening, Chris.
Hello, mate. I'm not going to say how you're doing. I know how you're doing because I've seen you today. But how you doing?
Yeah, I'm quite miserable. But at the same time, I'm not demoralised, which is what would have happened had we lost that game. I think, end of the day, it was the right result, bearing in mind the performances of the two teams, right? Neither side deserved to win, really.
Yeah, no, I don't think they did. I think you're right. But regardless, it's unacceptable, Gal. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just said to you just before we came on, I'm getting sick and tired of turning up now week after week watching this abject, these abject levels of performances. It's just fucking infuriating me, Gal. I'm getting so sick and tired of it. I am. I can't understand right now. I get that we're in 17th place and there's not a lot to play for. Totally understand that. And maybe some of the players have already got their fucking, they're already on the beach or whatever it is. But, and here's the thing, we're playing Tottenham at home. It's a London derby, right? If you can't get the players up for a game like that, then you got no chance. And so this is my problem, right? Against Spurs, we should be turning up there today and we should be turning them over. Their team is shit. It's shit. They made loads of changes because obviously they've got one eye on the European, semi-final that they've got next week.
Yeah.
And rightly so. They barely got out of fucking first gear, let alone second gear. They were shit. But it just goes to show how crap we are that we cannot seem to turn up against fucking Spurs on our own fucking turf and put in a performance. It's not good enough, Gal. It's not. And I'm fucking tired of this shit. I'm really tired of it. I am. This is the one game that I was looking forward to.
Yeah, same here. There's not much I can add to that really or disagree with, to be honest. I am fed up with it, and that's why I'm not going to the Forest game now. I've made my mind up. Don't care what happens next week, because the players are clear. Not all the players. Some of those players are clearly on the beach, right? I've renamed Kadus now One Run Kadus because that's literally all he does with any sort of penetration every game now. He did one, nearly scored from it. Imagine if he'd have done 5 or 6.
He's not even half the player he was anymore, Gal. He's not. In terms of the level of performances that he puts in, the level of effort that he puts in each game.
Yes,
nowhere near where he should be. There's only a couple of players that come out of any credibility today. The rest of them are fucking shit. I've got to be honest with you, this week in general. So before we did the live thing yesterday, was it yesterday? I can't remember now. Can't remember what the hell I was doing. But Graham Potter, starting to get a bit fed up with him as well. Not going to lie. I'm sorry. I am getting a bit fed up with him because I think the thing that really fucking aggravated me.
Right? It's natural.
Yeah, but the thing that aggravated me, Gal, is this fucking clown turning up on, his pre-match press conference, turning around saying, "Oh yeah, he hopes that Spurs gets to the final." I don't want to hear that from a West Ham United. I don't want to hear that from a West Ham manager, Gal. I don't.
I know.
And if he's saying shit like that, makes you question. Do you
he
actually
hasn't read
understand?
the room very well. He hasn't read the room very well, saying stuff like that.
He's fucking manager West Ham, Gal, since January.
I know.
I'm sorry, you don't fucking turn around and say that shit. I mean, that'd be the equivalent of him being Brighton manager and turning around and saying, "I hope Crystal Palace do well. I hope Crystal Palace fucking win the FA Cup." Be the same thing.
Yeah.
What's he going to say next? What's he going? Wouldn't surprise me that he turns around and says, "Oh, it's a shame we couldn't get Millwall fucking, winning the playoffs so we can play so he can get to the Premier League next season." I mean, honestly, I don't get why you would say something so fucking idiotic. I don't. He don't help himself, does he? Doesn't help himself.
I think the press conferences is a standard psychology is don't go calling the opposition team shit and playing them down. That's why everybody gives everybody credit, right? Because you don't want to give them something to motivate the opposition players. However, there's a way of dealing with that, and that is to not wish them any sort of luck in the final. You didn't have to mention it, right? Didn't have to mention it.
Ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that is a really naive thing to do. Bearing in mind, most of us don't like Spurs very much, or at all. And we're all supporting the Bodo Glints on come on you Bodo Glints on Thursday, right?
Get my fucking Bodo Glint West Ham half and half scarf ready, mate.
I'm going to be watching that, and Ross told me today when you watch a game like that, hoping for a team to lose, it's called hate watching. So I'm hate watching the Spurs game on Thursday.
I do it all the time. I mean, I watch a
Yeah.
lot of football, so I'm always hate watching, always.
Yeah.
So particularly when I watch Arsenal play. So I'll be doing the same thing for them when they play PSG in the second leg. I'll absolutely be rooting for PSG all the way, as I will be rooting for fucking Bodo Glimt. But that ain't going to happen. Let's be honest. Yeah, they're going to be playing on a plastic pitch, and okay, they're 3-1. There's no way Spurs are going to fucking throw that one away.
I will.
Well, look. Regardless, if they do, I'm just hoping that if they do get to the final, fucking United do a job on them, because I can't bear the thought. Like, my worst nightmares are coming true right now, Gal. Arsenal getting to a fucking final, Spurs getting to a final, Crystal Palace getting to a final, Fulham getting into Europe. Fucking honestly, Chelsea winning the Conference League. Everything good is happening to all these other London clubs, and look at us. Look at us.
We had a good year. That's it for 20 years now. Good evening, everybody who's watching, by the way, and everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining. So let us know what you think in the chat. It does go like this in cycles, doesn't it? I mean, as it stands, Spurs should have been knocked out comfortably. Arsenal should have been knocked out comfortably the other night by PSG. Should have been all over by the second leg. So they're still in with a chance. So that's not a good sign. And the pressure's off away from home, away from your own fans, isn't it? With Spurs, they've got a hellish task on their hands against that team on the plastic pitch who haven't lost on the plastic pitch in Europe. They've beaten everybody pretty much they've come up against. We know it's listen, you remember back, I mentioned the other night, Oldham 6, West Ham 0. We all remember it, the Valentine's Day massacre, 89. Well, I was there, and I was there the following week as well when we beat them 3-0. So that is a 9-goal swing, plastic versus non-plastic.
I don't care. I don't know. I'm not. Look, do you know what? I don't give a fuck about Tottenham. I don't give a shit if they beat Bodo Glimt or either way. I don't want them to win. I'm more concerned about us right now and today, and the fact that we can't even put in half a decent performance against a shitty Spurs side. That's what I find unforgivable. How is it that Spurs are the whipping boys for so many fucking teams in the league this season, yet we can't score more than one goal against them? How many chances did we have?
Chris, we can't score against Southampton and
Fucking ridiculous. Come on, like every single game.
There's no creativity in the team apart from Paqueta, and unless he's absolutely on fire and the other players are in tune with him, nothing's happening, really. I mean, Wan-Bissaka, he's the one that played. I mean, let's talk about the game. Because it was all settling down. I know you're going to enjoy this. It was all settling down into a nice, calm opening to the game. And I'm sort of standing there thinking, well, this is sort of all right. We'll, pick up the tempo soon and start pushing forward. It's sort of settled down to start with. And then Kilman makes not one, not two, but how many, Chris?
Oh, we spoke about that. I hadn't even watched the highlights until just now. Since I got back home, I was mentally exhausted from watching that fucking shit show, and then I just put it on and just watched it. 3 fucking mistakes to that goal. Yeah. I mean, £40 million, £40 million for that.
Yeah, I think when I finally, after thinking about it for long and hard a few weeks ago, declared that he was shit, I think it's coming true.
I think you're right. I think he is shit. Honestly, I'm almost of the thinking at this moment in time that I'd rather Mavropanos play over fucking Kilman. Can't believe I'm saying that. But it's true.
This is the thing as well. The fact what Kat says. What Kat says here, right? The atmosphere was actually pretty good over there in the first half. We were pretty at it early on until they scored. What a ridiculous goal! He can't be doing stuff like that. And
he should be dropped, Gal. He needs to be dropped.
Well, the thing is, it's either him or Mavropanos at the moment, isn't it? So I don't know. 3 games to go. Can't say I care. Beyond next Sunday, where we to Man United, only because we're going. Beyond that, I'm just not fussed anymore. I'm not taking, I'm not going to any other games. Even if I had tickets to Ipswich, I wouldn't go. I'm definitely not going to Forest. Cannot be bothered with it. The amount of times, the only good thing about today is I went over the Beer Merchants tap before kick-off, and Russ was over from Oz, my mate, and he's actually coming. He's moving back. He's moving back in July, so that's really good.
Presumably not for the football.
He's going to get a season ticket. Yeah.
Oh my good God, he's gonna regret that, isn't he? Surely.
Well, potentially two new owners of my of my Bobby Morstan season tickets.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
Maybe one at least. Right, this is his son as well. He's been going to uni over here. His son, and he's been. I think he's just finished, but he's been going to West Ham pretty much since he's been going to uni. Everything's been going in Colchester, right? So he's been going quite regularly. So yeah, I think that was pleasant in the sunshine over at Beer Merchant's Tap in Hackney Wick. Met up with Jim and Phil and all the usual. Jackie was there as well. Had some good chats. Had lots of good chats. And then unfortunately, it was time to go to the football. Right, and that day out, that day out, because you've been saying this recently, that day out where you go to the pub beforehand, you see some mates, and then the game was usually a bit of an inconvenience, because then you go back to the pub afterwards and get drunk. And really, even if it was a shit game, it kind of glossed over it, because I was pissed when I got there, and I got more pissed when I left. Oh, and we didn't lose every week most of the time, even though the games are a bit boring. We didn't lose every week, right? But yeah, it was. I mean, for them to go 1-0 up like that was just catastrophic. That is something that Potter can't help. That goal, that is Kilman individual mistake. 3 individual mistakes. Why didn't the fucker just lump it into the stands?
Yeah, hold up. Okay, so you say that's not Potter's mistake. I'll probably disagree a little bit here and say, okay, I know that's not Potter playing, but that's Potter picking. That is Potter picking a player that's banging out a form.
Who's he going to have? Mavropanos instead?
Look, I know, I know Mavropanos is shit. I know he is, and he's always got a mistake in him. But at the moment, Kilman seems to be more likely to make mistakes than Mavropanos does. Actually, that's the truth. Yeah. If you look at even the minutes that Mavropanos has come on in games recently, he's been okay, right? He hasn't made any fucking catastrophic errors. But Kilman regularly, week in, week out, at the moment,
he does
costing us goals. But it's not just the goal. It's not just the goals. It's distribution. He's passing. He's fucking poor.
But even if you look at Brighton last week, that headed goal where it was headed back across from behind Vlad, that was Kilman's man, who the smallest player on the pitch, who was standing on the edge of the 6-yard box with no one near him, right? So those mistakes are creeping in all the time. It's generally a Kilman fuck up when we concede, when Mavropanos ain't on the pitch.
Well, it is, mate. I mean, both of our defenders have been shit. Obviously, Mavropanos is a standout fucking shit centre-back that we've got this season, which kind of begs the question, how the fucking hell do we let the likes of Aguerd go to fucking Real Sociedad or whatever it is and having a great season? It's just typical West Ham that we let. I know that he wanted to go, whatever, all that kind of bollocks, right? But, I mean, fuck's sake. Why? He's our player. He's our player. He is much better than that.
We can get him back if we want to. And the thing with Aguerd as well, he is actually a leader, if you remember, because he is crap in the air, by the way. It'd be a bit difficult. Aguerd. He's crap. Yeah. I mean, not crap in the air, but playing in a Moyes defence, he kept getting caught out with balls over his head. Do you remember?
Yeah, but playing a high line though, that's Aguerd's game, right? That's With the game in front of him, he plays well. When he's fucking, too close to his own goal, that's when he becomes, a bit of a problem and a liability.
But in his national team, he is a leader, right? He is a leader, and that's what they need at the back there. They need someone who's a bit vocal. I understand he is. Maybe he could be a bit of the solution, because unfortunately for us, Kilman needs to be led, and that's why Kilman played his best stuff, other than the first 10 games where he's doing well for Lopetegui. He played his best stuff in that period when Cresswell was playing alongside him and Scholes outside, because I think Scholes was compensating the pace of everybody. Cresswell was helping out Scholes. Cresswell was helping out Kilman next to him. Todibo, look, I think Todibo is a strange one, because he can do some really crappy things, but he can also do some marvelous things. At the same time, he doesn't make many mistakes that lead to goals. You can't blame him for many goals. That's what I'm saying. I just don't know why he can't play a whole game. That's all.
I just think, I mean, look, I don't think Kilman is shit. I don't think he's shit. I know, you said the other day, but I think deep down there is a player in there that has ability. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think he's in really, really poor form, as are many of our other players, in addition to players that don't seem to give two shits about putting in a performance anyway. They're just there just to show up or whatever and go fucking home and having a bit of an easy day. Yeah. There was players walking around again, Gal, today. It's a London derby, mate. Where are those fucking, where are those hardcore challenges going in? Where are they? I don't see them. The only player that seems to be consistently good every single week is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a fucking right back. Is that what we're turning up for? Just to watch our right back? Because that's what it feels like.
It is our only source of attack as well, sadly. I mean, of someone who's going to do something out of the ordinary, because everything Paqueta seems to do, unless he's playing a blinding game, seems to be amazingly predictable. Kadus seems to be easy to shut down now. I wonder if he's actually been figured out after all, or if he's not trying. My theory is he's not trying.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, but we'll go through the players. We'll do player ratings at the end because there's going to be some low ones in there. But to give you an example of the sort of thing that really pissed me off was, and again, this is Paqueta, and I don't want to dig him out too much because he ended up in a bit of a state, didn't he? I don't know why.
I heard about that. I don't know what happened there.
He got booked, and he was actually crying. I don't know what that was about. And then when he got taken off, he was still crying. It's just like weird. And Potter after the game said, "Well, he's going through a hard time at the moment." So I don't know what happened there, but very odd that he's got a yellow card. Maybe he's saying about his case. He got booked. And you know, maybe it's just really fucking got to him. So I don't know what has happened there. Gio's theory, because you know I watched Gio after the game. You know, he had a little theory about it, and maybe that was his last appearance, right? Maybe that was his last appearance at London Stadium for us. Maybe he knows he's on his way. I don't know, but it's a weird one. But just as an example, and this is just look. With Paqueta, you take the rough with a smooth. You know you're going to get, for every brilliant pass, you're going to get a bit of dive in, right? There was a time in the first half where he was about to go down, and in his mind, someone told him, Lucas, you can't go down because you're letting the player clean through. And he didn't. He got up and he carried on and he defended it. But in the second half, when he played that ball around the corner and it went straight to their player in central midfield and set off an attack for Tottenham, the way he just strolled and walked, yeah, I found that quite irritating. He then went down injured and got up again. There was nothing wrong with him. He has his moments.
This is a thing though with Paqueta. You know what he's like. He has his moments where he's 110 mile in the fast lane, and other times when he's just literally on the hard shoulder. I don't know what it is with him. He does have those moments, and it's frustrating because. Yeah, like I think he had moments today actually where I actually thought he played pretty well, to be honest with you, Gav. But yeah, there's some moments you think, for fuck's sake, come on, mate, just get your ass into gear, get up and get on with it, chase back, whatever. And one of my biggest frustrations today was, I mean, as I said to you earlier on, like Potter, I think post-match, he turns around and says, oh, we played well today and we were pressing high up the pitch. No, we fucking weren't. There's only one player pressing high up the pitch, and that was Bowen. He seems to be the only one that seems to be giving a shit, So he was actually, he nearly made the goalkeeper made a couple of mistakes, right?
At one-man press all season, Chris. That's all. It's been one-man press all season.
But they ain't pressing high up the pitch, is it? Like, for me, you press high up the pitch with a couple of players, not fucking one. It means nothing. I mean, I'm literally watching. There was one moment where Bowen was flying all over the place. He was running. He was going up to keeper, going to their fullbacks, centre backs. He was going, and I was watching Kadus. He was just fucking standing there watching him.
Yeah,
you don't see that on TV, right? You don't see certain things that you see that we see in the ground on TV because I'm looking at Bowen. He's flying. I'm looking over there, and I'm just watching the other players standing there, watching him doing it.
Yeah.
I fucking go with him, help him out a little bit. You know. Go hand it to Bowen. Like, I've given him a bit of a tough time recently, but today I think he knows what it means to play in these games for West Ham. He's captain, so he's going to put in the performance, and he did. He done all right today, Bowen. He did, but he can't do it on his own. He needs players to help him. It's like Fulkrug said the other week. Half the team want to defend, half the team want to attack. Well, here's the thing: we need to attack as a team and defend as a team. It can't be disjointed and half. It can't be. But that's what it is again. That's what it was again today. You get a couple of players that seem to be on it at times, and some players that don't give a shit. And it's consistently like that every week.
Bowen always gives a 7 out of 10 performance. It's rarely a 6. It's usually a 7 out of 10. It was a great take for the goal and a great through ball from Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Who else? Brilliant. He'd already cut back about 2 or 3 balls from the byline, Bowen, and I think he suddenly thought, well, look, I ain't going in. I've got to have a go myself, and straight through the keeper's legs. So good finish. Probably took the keeper a bit by surprise. The keeper was no better than Areola, in my opinion. He was dodgy everywhere, especially on the floor. They've got their work cut out there, Spurs. I think I realise they've got better players and they've got an injury problem, but they haven't got a deep squad, have they? I mean, that is their second string. It's appalling.
I don't even know some of their players, mate. I mean, there was that geezer that got past Kilman, made 3 mistakes. What's his name? Matthias Tell. Who the fuck's he? Never heard of him. Never heard of him. I mean, look, they still had some good players. Like, I mean, let's get it right, because Spurs will turn around and they'll say, "Oh, you couldn't even beat our B team." They'll sell that kind of crap. But look, they also do have some injuries. Yeah, they do have a couple of injuries and this, that, and the other. But if you look at their bench, it wasn't the strongest bench in the world either. They don't have a particularly good squad in general, as you pointed out. So I'm not having any Spurs fans turn around and say, "Oh, you can't beat our B team." Well, do you know what? Fucking hell, like, seriously, you're shit anyway. When you even play your A team, you're still fucking 16th in the league. So you're clearly not that good. You've got injuries. We've also had injuries. We've had injuries. So we haven't had as many injuries as certain other teams in the league. In fact, we haven't really had many injuries at all, but it seems to be key players at certain times. It could be 1 or 2 players. You know, it's not been like we haven't had situations where we've had like 3, 4, 5 players injured at one time, which has been quite a frequent thing that's happened over the years. This year, we've not had that. We've had like 1 or 2, but they've been key players in key positions, i.e. striker. Do you know what I mean? Like with Fulkrug, for instance, Somerville left wing, where we've not had a left winger. And yeah, so I don't know, mate. I'm fucking tired. I'm so fed up. I can't handle it anymore. I can't fucking handle it.
I think the more I hear Potter, the more I think that he's doing what I always thought he was doing. And I was having a little chat with a couple of people about this over at Hackney Wick earlier. And one of the guys, he owns and sets up restaurants and buys restaurants, stuff like that. And so he knows what it is to run an effective team of people, right? And people are people, whether they've got loads of money and they play football or whether they, do a job for you. And he said he's, and I've done this as well, right? Not in a restaurant, but in a decent sized team. He's walking into a team that's already demoralized, that didn't like the previous manager. And you've got it split into different camps. You've got ones who really, really want to work and they welcome the new manager and they're great. You've got ones who have already given up and cannot be asked, no matter who the manager is. They're just biding their time and taking their salary, right? And then you've got the ones who have got massive egos. Now they're usually a small group, but the fact is, if you run a restaurant and you take over a restaurant, you still got to get the food out. You can't give people food poisoning. You've got to give good service. You can't get bad reviews and all that kind of stuff. And so it's a delicate balancing act between going in and saying, I am the boss, you will listen to me, which is what Lopetegui done, because that will just backfire on you with expensive footballers. And doing what I think he's doing. And what I think he's doing, and I've thought this pretty much from the start, and that is just trying to get to the summer with as few scars on him as possible.
Yeah, he might do, but I'm not getting to the summer with as few scars on me as possible.
No,
fucking scarred to shit, mate. I feel like I've been beaten all over the fucking place this season, like most West Ham fans do. I don't care what. Honestly, I get what you're saying, Gal. I get the whole analogy behind all this kind of stuff. But like I said the other day, why can't we drop some of these so-called big fucking players that we've got and play some of the youngsters in there? You know, like I would have so much preferred to see Lewis Orford in midfield today, because the fans are going to get behind that. That's what we're about. We love seeing young players come through. And for a fact, for someone like Lewis Orford, as an example, I'm not saying to him specifically, but could be any young player we've got coming through, they're going to be working their bollocks off. They will. You saw when Noble came on against Spurs in the 4-3 loss back in 2005-6, right? We know exactly what it means to young players that come through the system. If they had the opportunity to play against Spurs, you look at Tony Cottee when he made his debut as a 17-year-old, all of these moments, the fans are going to get behind that. That's what I want to see. I don't want to keep turning up and seeing these fucking players that put in 50% performances every week. I don't want to see that anymore. I'm sick of it. Graham Potter needs to grab a pair of balls, mate. I don't know what it is, honestly. I don't know what it is with the guy. I don't think
he's growing a pair of balls, to be honest. I think it's just the way he sees he's going to get through to the summer without fucking. You don't know the dynamic in that squad, nor do I. Right now, you can go in there and go, you out. You're playing with kids. There might be his mate who you've left in the fucking dressing room, and he starts playing shit. You know what I mean? You don't know what the dynamics are.
I'm not saying yeah, I get that, but I'm not saying make wholesale changes here, Gal. I'm not saying that, but I am saying maybe make a change where you bring in a youngster in, a really kind of pivotal position, whether it's in an attacking position in midfield where they're going to get a lot of the ball, the fans will get behind that. I'm not saying drop everyone and say, right, Kadus, fuck off, Paqueta, fuck. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying drop 1 or 2 of them, stick them on the bench, get the youngsters come through. We've got nothing to play for, as we all know. Clearly the players know that because they've got fuck all to play for and they ain't playing for anything right now. Certainly not playing for the badge. Get a youngster in there. Because that would make. Let me ask you a question, Gal, right? If you knew for a fact, Nottingham Forest, when we play them at home in a couple of weeks' time, if you knew that we were going to play, I don't know, as an example, right? I know it ain't going to happen because George Urphy's on loan, but they recall George Urphy and they fucking play Lewis Orford and say, we're going to stick them in midfield. I guarantee you'd want to go to that game.
Oh, 100%.
Because
100%.
Exactly. And what a surprise, because you're a West Ham fan, you want to see one of your own come through the system, and it's an opportunity to see potentially what the future may look like. But if you know for a fact that in 2 weeks' time, Gal, turn up to West Ham because what we're going to do is play James Ward-Prowse and Souček in midfield again. You're not going to want to. That ain't going to excite you. That's not going to get you off your seat.
You know what, though, Chris? The fans have not been great this year either, right? And I remember, look, we've had to put up a lot of shit, right? I've got to be honest. But that apart from today against Spurs, where we try to make a bit of noise and it weren't bad. It's usually like a fucking morgue in there, right? And I'm not blaming the fans for the performance because in no way is it responsible for it. But surely, if you fucking warm up the atmosphere in there a little bit, you're going to get a little tiny bit of a response. You know, just a little bit. But when you look at when Lewis Alford came on and made his debut in the second half of a game a little while ago, I'll never forget it. Right. He put one pass astray, and some idiot in front of me was cunting him off.
Yeah,
and that is the sort of stuff you're thinking. Do you really? They've got to be absolutely fucking ready before we put them in a team.
But, Gal, that's a minority.
Away's different, Chris. I'd do it at Man United. I wouldn't do it at home necessarily.
I think that's a minority you're talking about. That's like one idiot in a big crowd,
you know what
right?
It's like? You know what it's like? If it's a quiet morgue, it only takes one voice, and they can hear it on the pitch.
Yeah, well, maybe, but I still think it's a minority, and I still believe that, more often than not, everyone will get behind a young player, even if they make a mistake. They're going to have to make mistakes. You make mistakes in life to learn, right? So you've got to expect it. But you do get some bellend that might shout something out. You hear it all the time. But no, I like I said before, for me, I would be so enthused at the thought process of youngsters playing between now and the end of the season. I would do. If these other players ain't going to be here in the summer, then fuck off and we'll play our youngsters.
Listen, I would do it. I would do it for sure. I don't see why he doesn't do it. I agree with you. Obsidian says this is football 2025. Unfortunately for the players, there's nothing to play for, and it shows. Chris could be right. Stick the kids in. They have something to prove. Exactly. Because they've got, fucking hell. We want to beat Spurs. We really want to beat Spurs, right? We'll go to Man United next week and we'll really want to beat Man United. And yet we've got a group of players who have decided in their own heads that they're going to run at half speed and play games like a pre-season friendly.
I know. Yeah, and that's the concern, mate.
We should really get our money back. We should get our money back for most of these fucking games, I tell you.
Yeah, they should be.
Crap. Yeah,
I think honestly,
look, Ronnie's come out. That was our B team. You still do it with fuck off, Ronnie, mate. Fuck off, mate. All right.
Still, I told you, you're always going to get. Yeah. Seriously, fuck off, Ronnie. Do you know what? Yeah, your fucking B team, mate, but your A team's still going to get 16th place this season.
On a plastic pitch on Thursday, and I'm going to fucking watch it. I'm going to be laughing my tits off, Ronnie. See you later, mate. Right.
Ronnie has left the building.
Yeah. Can they bring the kids back now that the season is over? I think they might be. I don't know, because I think those loans run till June, don't they? Like player contracts. I don't know, Rich.
I don't know.
It would be good. It would be lovely to see. Imagine bringing Potsy back. Can't bring Earthy back because he's in the playoff competition. And the other one, the striker, who's done brilliantly. And we've got 2 player of the years out of 3. And he got a player of the year last year. And he's being seen as one of the best players in the Portsmouth team. It's fucking.
Have we not got 3 players of the year? Because I think George Earthy got young player of the year at Bristol, I believe. So that's young player of the year. Callum Marshall got player of the year, didn't he, over at Huddersfield? Yeah. And Potsy, did he not get player of the year at Portsmouth?
I don't know whether he did or not. But he got it last year at Wickham. But I think that is amazing for the young striker. What was his name? Callum? I can never remember it.
Callum Marshall. Do you know
Callum Marshall?
Here's the thing, right? Because again, I know Bodger really likes Callum Marshall, and he's been calling him out to get him at West Ham and give him a chance. The thing is, okay, look, I think it's great that he's got Player of the Year at Huddersfield, but that is in League One. I think really until we test him, he's got to be playing in the Championship next season and seeing what he can do there. Because if you look at the differences here, right? If you look at someone like we had in Jermaine Defoe back in the day, right? We loaned him out to Bournemouth. And he went on some crazy run, didn't he? He was breaking all kinds of records and he scored a lot of goals. I think it was like 19, 20 goals in, say, 30 games, something like that. It was crazy. That is a player that is going to make it. Callum Marshall, what's he got, like 9 goals roughly? He hasn't played loads of games. He's been on the bench quite a lot.
He got better at the end, didn't he? He had a good second half of the season and he got Player of the Year for that. Fuck me, he must have been good.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is let's not get too excited and put too much pressure on, Callum Marshall and thinking, he's the answer, because I still think like Potsy's done, he's give him a go in the Championship, see how he gets on in the Championship, because don't forget, last season he was in the Championship with West Brom and he didn't really do anything there because they didn't give him any games, right? So I think now he needs to go up to the next level. The next level is not to come back to West Ham. The next level is to play in the Championship and prove himself for a season. And if he can do that, then he should come back to West Ham.
You're right. Now, Potts didn't win Player of the Year, and I didn't think he did. And their contracts go up until the end of May, says Gazza, so we couldn't bring him back anyway. Also, look, we're going to come to the second half in a minute, but there is an upside to all this shitty form. There is an upside. Because I was thinking before the game, you know what I said the other night, that stupid thing about we're going to win 4 in a row, right? Remember?
Yeah, I remember, mate.
The thing is with that, if we won 4 in a row, Chris, Sullivan would be putting his wallet away. It'd be sewing up the pocket.
What, so you think he's going to start getting his wallet out now? Suddenly he's going to grow long arms and short pockets?
I think he has to, because otherwise we're going to get relegated for real.
I mean, I don't know whether these things will necessarily impact Sullivan's mindset about putting his hand in his pocket. I think he's a tight bastard. And as far as he's concerned, he's just happy for us to stay in the Premier League.
Hold on. Stand up if you hate Tottenham. Yeah, right. Okay, I did it. Right. You didn't stand up, Chris. Stand up. Fuck's sake.
Oh, I've been standing up all day, mate. I've been standing up all day. Everyone knows I hate Tottenham, so I don't need to do that to prove it.
Right. No passion or desire, which sums up our season. I'm not surprised at this performance from Potter's team. Honestly, I can't really. Interestingly, the people over the pub in Hackney Wick, they were all blaming Sullivan for this mess. I think it's fair to say, listen, you can be critical of Potter because, as we'll come on to talk about, the second half substitutions, for instance, were fucking shit. What he says in the pre and post match pressers at the moment, I'm not even listening to, right? A lot of people are spinning it for their own ends and saying, oh, look, he looks like he's falling to bits. He's got to him. He's gone to pieces. He's got to get rid of him. He's no leadership, right? Well, and the thing is, as well, it's what someone said to me today. The first 8 games, when he had the massive injury crisis, right? He had a massive injury crisis, and everyone was cheering him on, going, "Oh, he's doing all right in terrible circumstances, doing all right." 6 games later, they're going, "Fucking 14 games. He's only won this many out of this many. That shit. He's got to go." So that it's like convenient It's using the stats to arm yourself because you're a bit bored, and we're all a bit bored. Getting rid of the manager ain't a thing to do just because you're bored, especially because he ain't really. He's got this fucking team, and I'm fucking convinced that this team is a nightmare. This team is a fucking nightmare who won't deliver for anybody. And let me tell you what I heard the other night. This will please you. Just give you an idea of what's going on, right? Our old friend, my friend and yours, Evan Ferguson from Brighton. So this came from the same source who said before he came here that he was being sent here to get his head sorted out. Yeah. West Ham, the agreement was to play him, give him minutes with Brighton. Brighton got the right hump with West Ham. They complained. Bloom, I think, called up Potter or something like that, but Potter spoke to him. And he said, well, because I was expecting him to turn him around because he was the, fucking using our manager to turn your player around, you fuckers, make him worth more money and then give him back to you for a start. In that sense, I'm glad he's failed. In the other sense, it would have been nice if it worked. But he told Brighton that he cannot get through to him. He said he's come down here. He's all he's interested in doing is going out partying. After training all the time. So moving to London's been a fucking nightmare. He's surrounded by people, because that was the thing as well. He's surrounded by a group of people who in Brighton, and they thought a change of scenery would sort him out. Well, it ain't. He's still a waster. He's not interested in football at all. And we saw that today, didn't we? He got his toe on one ball, I think.
He was shit. He was shit. I mean, honestly, there were moments where we weren't even jumping for the ball when the ball was cut. Yeah. I don't even know what he was doing on the pitch, mate. I mean, what's the point taking Fulkrug off and sticking him on? I think Fulkrug could have probably lasted another 10 minutes. Do you really think that Evan Ferguson is going to provide that spark in the last 10? By the way, what you just said there really, really aggravates me, really fucking annoys me. I mean, how's it got to a point now where Brighton are pissed off with us because we're not playing their player? It's fucking Brighton. We're West Ham United here.
Well, yeah, I mean, Brighton understand. No. Brighton understand it. They understand the reasoning. Is they now know they're getting a lemon back, and no. The fact that happened in the first place, Chris. That's what I was trying to say back then. I was trying to say he's damaged goods. We're bringing him on. If anyone can sort him out, it's possible. It's a last desperate hope by Brighton. And if he could sort him out, they'd have an £80 million player to spend. They're fucking using us to try and make their player more expensive. I hated it.
Brighton using us. Using us, right? I mean, come on. I'm not being horrible, but I mean, what the fuck is going on with our club if that's the way things are now? That we've got teams like Brighton,
Well,
Hove
Sullivan,
Albion.
what's going on, Chris? And
I know it is, mate, and
this is why I went back to. This is why I went back to when you were saying, "Why did he sign him?" I blame Potter for that. I was thinking, this is the only fucking chance he's been given, alone, with no obligation to buy, because Brighton would not give it, right? Because they thought there was a player in there still. I'd like to thank Max Kilman for that terrible piece of football that cost us 3 points, says Jason. Absolutely, it did. Well, it did, really, didn't it? Having said that, we showed a lot more urgency when we were 1-0 down than we did when we were 1-0. Right. Oh, look, spot on Gary, eh, Razor? If we won the rest, Sullivan would say that's great. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. You've always got to be one step ahead of that little prick, right? You know what he's going to do. If things are going well, everything's fine. Listen, if we finish fourth from bottom and we look shit, and the best of that shit bunch of players are going to be shipped out, we are almost certainly getting relegated unless he puts his hand in his pocket. And it cannot be players that he chooses, because as much as I really love Somerville as a player after seeing him for a good half against Aston Villa, they told him he had to have a fucking operation to repair his hamstring in January. He said, no, I'll let it heal naturally. Well, guess what? He's just had an operation. And guess what? He's going to miss the whole pre-season and maybe the start of next season. Fucking brilliant.
No, I know. Well, look, again, we don't know whether West Ham gave him the advice to not. You know what?
West Ham did. West Ham gave him the advice in January to have the op, and he said, no, I'm going to let it heal naturally. Where'd that fucking get you? 4 months off, 4 months more off than you had to have off, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I'm not, man. I'm not going to dig him out because we don't like you said earlier on. We don't know what's going.
Desperate, Chris.
Yeah, I know we're desperate, man. But I'm just saying, I can't dig out a player when I don't know the facts. We don't know whether they might have said, you know what, do we know 100% that that's accurately, that is 100%?
Well, I know they
go and get it done.
I know he was advised in January to have the op, and he said no, right? And he's just had the op. Now he's lost 4 months, and we're going to lose him potentially for the whole pre-season. Remember the player we saw at Villa, because we hadn't seen that player before. He was a fucking good player, right? He could have been a fundamental piece in Potter's team next year. So what's he got to do now? Plan the start of next season without him, and then he comes in and has to get match fit. Fucking brilliant.
Well, I don't have words for this shit anymore. I see Bodgers put down here, Chris, we're worse than Brighton. Yeah, I know we are, and that's the point. That is the point. How has it got to this? I mean, how has it really got to this?
We're worse than Brentford.
It's almost like we kind of we're like the equivalent of being like a feeder club to Brighton, because we'll take on your player, we'll make him better, and we'll send him back to you and make you some fucking money. That is ridiculous. I mean, the thought around that, I just can't get my head around. Honestly, I can't.
You're right, Martin. This isn't a Brighton channel, but you come here for West Ham news and you get Brighton news. So why complain? Now. Fact is, you got someone that's, our news spreads in the football industry between how good a player is and what they're up to. Party boy, you ain't selling him for more than about 10 or 15 million, I reckon, unless you can get someone unaware getting promoted and fancy signing someone based on his record.
Gal, if he is this party fucking boy or whatever you want to call him, why is he getting any minutes then? Why is he getting any minutes? Like, why would we not play? I mean, Danny Ings was on the bench today, I noticed. Why would we not play Danny Ings? At least Danny Ings is an honest pro. Do you know what I mean? He's an honest pro. If you've got a fucking youngster there that's got his head twisted around the other way and he's going off partying and doing this, that, and the other, don't fucking play him. Simple as. Don't play him. Fucking put Danny Ings on his head for the last 10 minutes.
What I'm concerned about, I agree. You shouldn't play someone who's doing that, right? But
exactly.
I wonder who's going out partying with him, right? Or if he's just a bit of a lemon in the dressing room. Who knows? Sullivan didn't want the op, says Darren Potter. Could possibly make him lose some pace. Well, look, I mean, I doubt it. The pace is all down to fast twitch fibers, as I learned from Chris Akabusi. Obviously, you can, but he's very young. He's likely to repair. It's a hamstring. It's not a knee. It's a hamstring, right? So, and yes, I mean, Skulls, I don't know why Skulls is not playing other than, look, it's a team that's getting slagged off week in, week out. I think he's probably, if that's the decision, so you can leave him out of the team because why put him through it, or whether it's because he had a mare at Liverpool and he hasn't recovered yet, I don't know. I would rather see today with Cresswell in at the left side of the three. I would have rather seen Skulls out there. But then again, Emerson's been playing pretty well since he come back. Sort of.
He has, but it's Spurs, and hence the reason what I said earlier on. I'd like to see young West Ham players playing against Spurs, and
I
Scarles is
agree,
obviously he's had more game time, so I would absolutely have stuck him in at left wing back today for sure. Wouldn't even be a consideration for me. He'd be straight in the team.
Well, this is what we discussed earlier about him crying. I don't know what it was about. I do not know what it was about, but he got booked and then he was in tears, and then he got taken off and he was still in tears. I don't know what happened.
It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. Well, we'll find out in due course what that was all about.
Yeah. Jason says, I've heard from many sources that Chris at Somerville was advised. Yeah, I've heard it as well.
I've heard it as well. I mean, we've all heard it, but whether or not, how do we know? I mean, look, we hear from a lot of sources about what's apparently going on, and it's a load of bollocks. So we don't never always necessarily know that's factually true, is my point. That's what I'm saying.
If it's a hamstring tear, though, which it is, isn't it? I mean, it is a hamstring, isn't it?
It's been one hell of a hamstring tear. Do you know what I mean? I mean, how long has it been now?
Well, no, a tear. If it's a grade 1 tear, it's an op to rejoin it, and it's a long recovery time, right?
No.
So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But look, let's talk about the second half now. Coming out for the second half, went out, had a lovely chat at half time. You did some more vlogging, didn't you? And we had a lovely little chat. It was quite happy crowd, wasn't it? Happy little group, wasn't it? I was praising Stadebo, and you were slagging him off.
I wasn't slagging him off. I just didn't think he was great today. Like in the first half, I thought his passing was a little bit off. He wasn't as bad as Kilman, but he wasn't great.
For me, Chris, it's a little bit of pixie dust that you got to pick out of an abysmal performance. And every now and then he entertains me with a little bit of beautiful play. There are times when he's not that great, but that little bit of beautiful play I quite enjoy. And he did it again in the second half as well. Sometimes he looks like a Rolls Royce. I just think he needs a good defender next to him. A good solid leader, just like Kilman does. Unfortunately, they both need a leader.
Sometimes, yeah, like I get it, man, but I feel like you're scraping the barrel sometimes with this. Like you see like one particular moment, you're like, oh fuck me, brilliant. Yeah. This is what it's come to now. You could see like 89 minutes of shite, but they do one little good thing. You're like, oh yeah, he had a good game. I think that's not you, but I think in general, we as West Ham fans are conditioned to kind of almost be like that a little bit now.
Yeah,
you see all these big, just one little thing, you're like, oh yeah, that was good. It's not good enough. The fella that sits next to me, he turned around to me today, goes, hey Chris, he goes, when was the last time? He goes, you remember those days when you used to go and watch West Ham and they used to fucking give it some? And I was like, no, I don't remember because it's so fucking long ago. I mean, I do remember because it was a long, but it's true, isn't it? London Derby. And we're just literally in fucking first or second gear for the 90 minutes we played today. Not good enough. Not good enough at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. And that will be reflected in the scores of the players, most of them anyway. Cresswell did all right today, didn't he? Someone said earlier in here.
Yeah, he done all right. Yeah, he did do all right, to be fair. And a lot of people were like, oh, why is he playing? I actually preferred him to play over Mavropanos. I was having this debate in the pub before the game.
Look at this. Obsidian says, heard it. So John said earlier that it can affect pace. I didn't know that. So that's good. So it's two of you said it. I'll take your words for it, right? But heard it was made worse by trying to train it back to fitness. Oh, fuck you now. Dear God.
Yeah. I don't know, mate. It's just typical West Ham, isn't it, mate? Always is. We always have fucking injured players. I mean, always.
We had I think we had 3 chances in the second half, Steve. It was a crap. If the second half was a colour, I'd call it beige. It was the most disappointing second half with 2 teams who seemed to accept a draw at half time. I think they shook on it, because neither team showed any real intent. There was the chance where Kadus did his one run of the game where he got around 3 players, I think, and crossed it in. Great little move. It's slightly too high for Fulkrug. Little bit lower. That's a goal. Bit disappointed actually. I thought he was going to get a good header on that.
It was a bit high, mate. I mean, it was right in front of me. It was a bit high. To be honest with you, at that moment, I thought he'd done well enough to get his head on it. To be honest with you, it wasn't the greatest cross.
You're below it. I'm above it. So to me, it looks lower than it is.
Higher
than it is.
It
looks about the right height. Yeah. So so there was that, and then there was the other Bowen chance, which was a really cute corner from Ward-Prowse. We'll talk about substitutions in a minute. It was a really cute corner from Ward-Prowse. I thought he'd miss it to start with, but it turns out Bowen had ghosted in at the near post. Very nearly.
Yeah, it's close. Keeper pulled off a good save for that one. Yeah,
he did. Yeah. And then there was, now if James Ward-Prowse could pick a spot to put the ball down to have a go at goal in the perfect free kick position for the right footer, it would be left side of the box, enough distance from the D to get it up and down. It was perfect for him. And so we're getting signed. Is this one? Is this one where he finally does it? He matches Beckham's record. Is this one? Anyway, nearly.
Oh, fuck Beckham's record.
He did. No, we didn't mention that. I don't give a fuck about Beckham's record. But fact is, it was about a foot wide. If it was a foot to the right, it was in, but it wasn't. It's like my dad used to say: if it went in, it was a goal. If that went in, it was a goal. Yeah.
I mean, oh no! See, oh for fuck's sake! Yeah,
it was a good free kick, but it was off target.
It was a good free kick if it hit the target. I mean, that's the thing. Do you know what I mean? If my aunt had bollocks, she'd be my uncle. It's the same fucking thing, Gal. It's like at the end of the day, like I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it was close. It was fucking about that much wide. I just seen the highlights of it back. I was right behind it. I had my fucking camera out. I was vlogging that shit.
Wide, wasn't it? About 2 inches wide?
No, fucking weren't, mate. Yeah, it depends what you consider an inch to be, mate. But no, it was fucking. It was a lot more than 2 inches.
Honestly, though, you think about it, right? You think about it, extension, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so which is about what? Yeah, but that's about fucking about half a meter wide.
It's about that far at wide the post, I think.
Bollocks! No way! It was not that close. I was behind it, Gal. I was behind it. I had my little fucking vlogging camera out. Stupidly, I'm talking around to the people around me saying, "Yeah, he's going to fucking do it exactly the same as you." I don't talk about David Beckham's record, mind you. I don't fuck that. All I'm saying is, he's going to finally score a goal, right? And he didn't score a goal. So yeah, what we fucking talking nonsense, aren't we? Really? No, that was never going to happen. But no, it was, mate. It was about 2 foot wide. It was definitely 2 foot wide. It was not that great.
It's never 2 foot. I think you're from the left-hand side of the goal, so you have the same effect. It looks wider than it was from where you are. I was standing right behind that, pretty much right behind that stanchion there, right? It was about 2-3 inches wide, Max.
Yeah, because you're on that side. You're looking at it from there. You're like, oh, that looked close. I'm in front of it. I can see it. It's about that much wide. I didn't even go. I don't even think I went. Oh, it was kind of like fuck. So it weren't like, oh, that was close. It was nothing close about it.
You are right, Jason. It was a free kick, not a corner. Yeah, it was. I should have just said set piece, shouldn't I? And I would have got away with it. It would have covered all my bases. Right. This is our. What's this? This is our longest no winning streak in 8 long years. Oh, yeah, don't surprise me. This
season feels like it's been 8 years. It feels like it's been the longest drab season I've ever experienced in my life. I've seen some bad ones.
It's been so grim, Chris.
I mean, the shit that we've been served up this year, it's been something else, isn't it? Yeah, it really has been.
I know.
Fuck me, every week we're having a fucking shit sandwich of that crap.
This is nailed on from hammer time, right? JWP, when he plays against us next, he will score a free kick against us.
Of course he will. Yeah. I'll put money on that. I'll put money on that. Absolutely, I'd put money on that happening.
Here's a question for you. Would you, as long as we get rid of him, would you accept that?
100%.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, Big Beckham's record. I'll be cheering for you, mate. See you later. Seriously, go. Fucking go.
Yeah. I think, we've won 2 more games than Spurs this year, so fucking hell, they've had a bit of a grim time as well, haven't they?
Oh, I don't care. At least they're in the fucking semi-final, mate. Do you know what I mean? They're having a bit more fun than we are. They're having more fun than we are.
A few years ago, going to the final and battling against relegation, right?
Yeah, do you know, right? I today, this performance, obviously, it was bad, and I was thinking to myself, God, maybe we need to shake it up a little bit, take something off the bench. And I turned to my right, and it would have been right in front of you. And I look at who's warming up and thinking, who's going to come on? And the 3 players that I see there, James Ward-Prowse, Mavropanos, who was the other one? I can't remember who it was. And I just thought to myself, for fuck's sake, like, seriously, that is what we've got. That is our backup. That is that. I mean, it doesn't really get much worse than that, does it? Like, it doesn't.
And Darren, I'm sorry, mate. Lopetegui was fucking useless. Now you can look at a set of stats and go, "Look, he's won a lot more games than Potter." Remember back a lot of those games. Remember away to Southampton? How the fuck did we win that? There was one good performance under Lopetegui, and that was away to Newcastle from memory, right? Other than that, even when we won a game, we didn't deserve to fucking win it, and a lot of the games were over before we started. Yeah, we are, like it or not, we are competing. It's boring. It's fucking boring. But we are competing. And look at what he's got to play with. He's got fuck all on the bench, as he proved when he started with probably his best team, I thought, other than maybe Scholes instead of Emerson. But I'm not going to pick holes in that. That selection was enough to beat Spurs, wasn't it?
But maybe not the formation, though, Gal. I would have played 4 at the back, not 5. I wouldn't have played 5.
But you know that when we switch to 4, it all goes tits up.
Yeah,
Look at Brighton in the second half.
Yeah, it does. It does when you play Kilman with Tadibo as a back two partnership, you know.
Chance after chance after chance after chance after chance when you play with 4 at the back, and I'm convinced that's why he's going with 5.
Which is true. But you know what? It'd be nice
Yeah.
to see chance after chance after chance in the other end of the fucking pitch.
Well, yeah,
it
makes for a better game. Like the second half against Brighton, you'd like it or loathe it. We did lose, and I was demoralised afterwards, but it wasn't entertaining half. It was.
Yeah, but look what he did though. I mean, in that game, though. I mean, for fuck's sake, that was his mistake. I mean, fucking hell, playing Soufal at left back. What the fuck's he thinking? So I'm sorry, like, you know, Potter. Yeah, I know that he hasn't got a great deal of, you know, top level players to choose from, but he is culpable for a lot of this crap, Gal. I'm sorry, he is.
It's like a lot of people are saying, "Oh, sure, Danny Ings on instead of Ferguson." No, I agree with that. If you're going to bring a striker, why not bring Danny Ings? But it is only Danny Ings you've got to choose from as a striker.
I'd pick him over Ferguson. Ferguson is spent, mate. He's useless. Like you said, he's too busy fucking dancing, mate. That's what he's doing.
But it shouldn't be, Chris. That shouldn't be all he's got to fucking choose from. A knackered Danny Ings or a broken, mentally fucked Evan Ferguson who don't want to play football. That shouldn't be the and his first choice striker who's just back from long-term injury, you know. Do you think there's an element of players being on the beach? 100%. Yeah.
For the last fucking on the beach, I've got fucking nice hands as well.
When we do the player ratings, I think every bloody week we're having to go at the same players. Kadus can't be bothered unless we're playing. He'll play well next week against Man United. Shop window time. You know,
what's going on with Alvarez? I mean, has he actually got back problems? He's falling out with Potter. What's going on with him now?
Well, I think he's probably fallen out with a manager because he wanted to leave in the summer, and the only thing that stopped him leaving in the summer was getting injured while playing for Mexico. Playing well for Mexico as well, by the way. He always plays well for Mexico. Funny how he plays shit for us, isn't it? But I still think he's our best central defensive midfielder by a long way.
Yeah, of course he's kind of our only central defensive midfielder. That's the truth, right? Who else have we got?
And Jim in the pub today reminded me of when me and him went to Brighton last year, and when Alvarez played a fucking blinder because it was just him in front of the back four. Because he can't play in a double pivot whenever, you know, and that is exactly, you know, Moyes had to play 4-2-3-1, his system over everything. But for that Brighton game, he didn't. He was just like scanning the horizon for danger, and he was fucking firing onto it like a viper, right? He was brilliant. But you try and put him in a pair with JWP or with Souček, or is it? No, it's never going to work. And so I think, you know, where I think if he's got angry with the way they're playing him, all 3 managers have played him in the same way. In fact, Lopetegui embarrassed him even further because he tried to get him to split the centre halves, didn't he? Could do that.
Yeah. Oh God, yes, I do remember that very well. Yeah, that was absolutely tragic. But no, you're absolutely right, though. I mean, he plays very well when he's playing just in front of that kind of centre back pairing. Plays in that CDM position and he holds there, right? He protects the defense, and when he gets the ball, he gives it to us at the midfielders in front of him, whatever, right? He does. He does, like you said, having 2 deep line midfielders with him and JWP, no, or Souček, no, don't do it. It's just an absolute recipe for disaster. We've seen it game after game.
But every single manager, Chris, every single manager that's come in has done a couple of things, right? They've ended up they've used the same players, which suggests to me there's a squad seniority thing going on in that fucking dressing room that the manager ain't laying down. It's player driven. You know, there are alliances and there are cliques, and it's fucking difficult to break it all up because a lot of it, I guess, is based on country and whatever else, country, religion, whatever, you know. So there's those little cliques going on. And secondly, what every manager, including Lopetegui and Potter, have reverted to is Moyes ball. And like we covered last week, that's because the players are largely suited to Moyes ball because you end up playing the same fucking players, right? So go figure, right? It's number one, it's Sullivan for getting involved where he weren't wanted, where he didn't belong, in refreshing that squad in the summer and making sure we got Somerville. I remind you, a player we didn't even fucking need. We didn't need another left winger, even though I like him. We didn't need another left winger. And the reason we got him and we got Fulkrug is because Sullivan instructed Stuyton, I'm not paying all that for the Villa bloke. I want to bring Somerville in, so go and find a cheaper striker. And now we end up with this, right?
When you say we didn't need a left winger, Gal, what left winger did we have, though?
Well, no, but the fact is he wasn't ready, a first-team starter left winger. I mean, we weren't going to knock Bowen or Kadus out of the team or Paqueta out of the team, was he? Who was he going to, you know, when we had a fully fit squad with Antonio, who was he knocking out of the team? He was a sub.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was. He was, to be fair, but I don't think we can necessarily say that we didn't need a left winger because we actually didn't really have one.
Well,
We
we probably
played.
needed one for next season, like we probably needed a right winger for next season when Kadus goes.
Well, look, going back to your point, the main
Yeah,
thing really is instead of investing that money on Somerville, and I think Somerville's a cracking little player, and I
I
think he
think
will
he
come
is.
good. But I think, yeah, you're right. That money really should have been invested into buying a top level striker. You know, all that faffing around with John Duran and all that kind of stuff, right? And various other strikers. I mean, I think you messaged me the other day, didn't you, about various other strikers we've been linked with, and I just said, yeah, that ain't happening. Because I
Yeah,
just don't believe it anymore.
no.
I'm just prone to
Oh,
just
oh,
fucking looking at all these rumours. It's bollocks, mate. All
well,
of it is.
they can't sell season tickets, so suddenly we're getting Stones and Boniface.
I know. Exactly. Well, that's exactly my point, mate. It's not going to happen, is it?
The day
Amazing
after
that.
we've got no money.
Yeah,
It's fucking,
like, just before when all the season ticket holders were, oh yeah, renew before the end of March, get your 3 extra points, and oh, by the way, we're also going in for Jonathan David again. Who bollocks are you? And
that
Angel
rumor
Gomez, rubbish.
That rumor. I bought that Jonathan David rumor so much that I didn't only renew. I bought 2 more season tickets. That's
Mate, you were all over it. You wanted every possible angle and view of Jonathan David. That's why you got all. That's why you got all these tickets. Yeah, honestly.
I think Soler should have played ahead of Souček. Yeah, you and me both. But
yeah, I do as well, actually.
Yeah.
The
thing is with that today is even Spurs B team they did make him look very ineffective.
Can we stop calling it Spurs B team? Fuck me, honestly.
No. I mean, it was a second string midfield pretty much. And when you look at the way they play their football, it is quick passing, it is pressing. You can't put Souček in a midfield.
Well, they bossed the midfield today, didn't they?
Yeah.
They bossed it. Yeah. And in fairness, when I was down the pub earlier on, a few of the boys down there were saying, we're going to get fucking turned over through the middle of the park today. And I think they were absolutely right. We weren't good in midfield at all. We weren't.
He didn't know where he was at times, Souček, today. And if you're going to play a quick passing game like we endeavoured to play at the start of the game last week against Brighton, we were zipping the ball about until it reached JWP, who took another touch and then passed it very slowly, right? But up and down the wing on each side, we're fucking zipping it around. And the trouble is, when you got JWP, who won't lose possession, but he just does what he does, which is operate at a very slow tempo, receive the ball, pass the ball, keep it safe, never put a pass astray, but he's never going to put a ball forward. And so that's why Brighton decided last week, again, a little bit of information I got, to not even close JWP down. They decided to close down the players that JWP was going to pass to because he doesn't play forward balls.
You know what, right? I saw something on, it might have been on Instagram or something the other day, and it was, believe it or not, there are people out there pro JWP, right? Brilliant player, should be in the team every week.
He's a good pro.
Get this shit, right? Anyway, what they used was they had some data about James Ward-Prowse, and the data was pass completion rate. It was all these, and I was like, what the fuck's that got to do with anything? I'd get 100% pass completion rate if I fucking turn around and passed it back to my goalkeeper or my defender every time. Absolute nonsense statistics. But if you're going to start talking about, like you said, progressive forward-thinking passes or whatever, where you're going to go and start setting up and creating attacks, that's different. But you literally, how can, James Ward-Prowse, he's got the best pass completion rate in West Ham. Yeah, of course he has, because every time he gets the ball, he stops it and passes it backwards or sideways. That's it. So how is that a defence to say, he should be playing? He's a good player. No, he's not. He's not right for. He's not. No, I actually don't think he's a bad player, but he's not right for West Ham. He's not right for West Ham.
Chris, I heard this. He suddenly decided he had bad back when he was told he was a sub for Southampton. Alvarez, yes,
possibly.
He did. That is when he went missing. So that tallies up. Also, let us not forget. He got himself sent off twice deliberately earlier this season. And I don't care what anyone says, it was deliberate. And Lopetegui was shitting himself every time he got booked, and Paqueta, by the way. And he was taking them off as soon as they got booked, you remember. So he clearly had one. He clearly had one eye on the fact that they were half meaning it. Yeah. Why wasn't Alvarez on the bench? Yeah, I mean, look, he's a good player, but if he's a good player, but a shit squad member and a player that the manager can't trust, he can't play. Sad though it is, it is sad because I do rate him, but if he's no use to you, he's no use to you. We've got to flog him. He's got to go. He's got to go. This has been an appalling season for him. And with Kadus, let me just remind you as well of the way he lost his fucking head and got sent off so badly that they gave him another red card, a 6-game ban earlier in the season. He really made a fucking proper job of that, didn't he? Not only getting sent off, but getting more punishment than that. And early on in that game today, I thought he was trying to get himself sent off again because he gave away a booking early on, and then he fucking run after someone like he was going to smash into him, lost the resulting throw-in, and then started mouthing and bitching at the referee, like throwing his arms up in the air. I was thinking, in a minute, he's going to get booked. And so all this stuff, it leaves memories of this season, just leaves a fucking bad taste in the mouth. And I just want I don't expect brilliant next season. What I want next season is something that we can fucking cling on to and hope a team that we can relate to. Hopefully a manager that feels a bit more comfortable in his own skin at West Ham after a summer and a pre-season, and actually the pre-season where you're actually mingling with some West Ham fans and talking to some West Ham fans and stuff like that. I think at the moment it would really help Potter as well. Maybe not now, end of the season. It would really help me personally if Potter set out what the destination is, where we're going.
Well, yeah, I'd like to know the answer to that one, mate.
Yeah,
I would love to know what the fucking destination is at the moment, because the only destination I see us is going fucking down next season, mate. Yeah, but like, as I said to you the other day, mate, I mean, for me, I genuinely do want to see a clear out of all of this deadwood and all these fucking fancy damn players. Just get shot of them. And I just want to kind of get that feel like I had back in sort of like 2004, 2005 with the Rio Cocas, the Zamoras, the Harewoods, all these players that play in lower league that really had something to prove. You know, that in addition to some of the youngsters that we can bring through into the first team, because that season, I mean, I love that season, mate. You know, when we went up first season back, got ninth, got into the FA Cup final, when no one would have ever expected that in a million years. You know, we brought in James Collins, Danny Gabardon, Yossi Benayoun, and all of these players that had something to prove. I would love to get that feeling back, but I've not had that in so long, like so long, you know?
No, I'm with you there. And that is, I'll tell you what, I was speaking with Rob Banks at half time, so were you, when you're about where, you know, we had a little chat with him, but he's renewed his season ticket reluctantly. He said, again, he's saying next year might be his last one. I said, what if we get relegated, Rob? He said, oh, I'm definitely renewing if we get relegated. You know, because
that, isn't it?
Yeah, and so would I, because football's fun down there. Football's fun down there. There's more games. There's not so much riding on them. There's not so much nonsense in the press, right? Robin, damn lies, etc. Around mid-April, Kilman was statistically the best defender in the league based on some metrics. I don't know what those metrics were, but he was. I'll tell you what, he had a good first 10 games under Lopetegui before the cracks started to appear. He was probably the best player in the Lopetegui team with Wan-Bissaka.
First Bowen 5 games for sure, Gal. Yeah, he was. First 5
away
games.
To Palace and all that, right? Away to Palace. Oh, God, what's this? Razor. Good luck to Spurs. Against Manure in the final. If that's the choice, as hate to... I don't know. 8 Manure in Liverpool too, yeah, but Chelsea... Sorry, Spurs. They're interchangeable in my mind. I can't really get behind Spurs over Man United. I don't really care about Liverpool and Man U because, listen, they're giant teams. You only have to go around the world. They're giant teams. They've got a lot of success. Some of their fans, most of their fans, never go and see them. They're just glory hunters. They just boast a lot. Don't really care what they think. They're not proper football supporters. There are some that are, but you know, mainly with a Scouse accent. But yeah, there's a load of sort of paper supporters all around the world who have never actually set foot inside a ground, and up and down this country as well. I mean, most of the away fans, when you watch Man U, they're from Surrey. You can't hate a team. I don't know. Listen, they're a giant club, and they really are a giant club. Their history is immense. They've won everything, and so have Liverpool. They are genuinely part of the world football elite, right? Spurs ain't, even though they claim to be. Arsenal, I don't think they are either. They're not in that class. They're not in that class, but they've kind of put themselves in that bracket because of the Premier League.
I think so. I mean, I really detest Spurs, as every West Ham fan does. But recently, as you know, I cannot stand Arsenal. Then I was thinking about this, and I've had this conversation with a lot of Arsenal fans. And I actually think that the reason why Arsenal gets such a bad rep is because of Arsenal fan TV. Like a bunch of absolute deluded muppets. Most of them are, right? I mean, you know, the geezer that runs it, he's not even an Arsenal fan. He supports Luton Town, right? This is what I've been told by someone that knows him. It's all a load of bollocks, mate. And they embarrass the club. I think most proper Arsenal fans are embarrassed by AFTV. They are. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to see either of them win anything, but Spurs winning the Europa League, that is just going to fucking be like a dagger in the heart to me. I just don't want to see that shit happen. I can't bear the thought of it.
No, I totally agree with you. Now, the thing is, those substitutions that he made back to the game, I couldn't figure out why he took Paqueta off, because Paqueta was literally our only playmaker. I couldn't figure out why he took him off. Well, I could figure it out. I figured it out because it was bloody obvious afterwards that we were just containing them and running the clock down. A couple of little half chances came after that, but he accepted it. He accepted his fate. And in his shoes, having lost game after game after game right at the very end, I think you'd want to make sure that you didn't fucking lose this one, right? More than win it. So if he went for it, threw men forward, switched to a back four, and then we got beat 2-1, he would be getting slaughtered. So what do you do in that situation? I'm not sure I'd do any different to what he did in his situation. I know what I wanted him to do. I wanted him to throw men forward and go for it.
It's a London derby, Gal. I don't think we should be settling for a draw, particularly when actually a draw means nothing.
Fans, though, Chris, we're fans.
Yeah, but Gal, but all right. Even if you're not a fan, if you look at this kind of objectively, okay, look at it objectively for a second here. We're 17th in the league. We're not going down. Okay, 1 point does fuck all for us. I'd much rather see us go for a fucking win. Okay, and maybe lose it marginally, but just fucking go for it, honestly, because it doesn't mean anything now, Gal. It doesn't. Typically, I would never say that. Yeah, I'd never say. I don't want West Ham to ever lose a game, but I would much rather see West Ham. Do you know what? Let's fucking go for it today. Let's go out there and let's attack them. And if we lose it by 1 goal, at least we know that we've given everything. We've left it all on the pitch, right? That's what I would have preferred, rather than it's 1-1. Let's contain them so we don't lose the game. No. We can't lose 2 points and fucking. Well, what's that all about? No, we're in 17th position in the league. We're going down.
It says to me, Chris, he can't trust the players. He don't think he can trust the players. Now, I'm not going to say that's right, because I'd much rather see us go for a game. Of course I would. I was bored second half. I was really, really bored second half.
I've been bored all season.
Yeah, I know.
It's not just second half. I keep coming back. I keep going back for more and more and more. We always do. I mean, I know you're saying you're not going.
I'm not going for
it. You are going there. I know you'll be there. I'll tell you.
Don't tell me I'm going when I'm.
I know you're going to be there. You're going to be there, and you're going to be moaning at half time. I'm going to see you. I know exactly how this is going to
Forest. I'll tell you. I'm
going to fucking drag you to Forest, mate. You're definitely going to Forest.
Don't make me go Forest.
I mean, I know I'm going. I know I'm going to go because I don't know what it is, mate. I'm a glutton for punishment, mate. I'll just keep going. I will keep going. I want to go Ipswich away. I want to go to as many games. We're going United next weekend. You know what? Bring it on. I can't help but feel disappointed. Like, as much disappointment
United's my last game, Chris. United's my last game of the season, Chris.
As much disappointment as I have, I love West Ham and I will always continue to back them. Of course I will. But I can't help but display my frustration and emotion tonight because it really has. It's just, I've been building up. It's been like fucking boiling point right now, all season it has. And I've been pretty calm most of this season. But when we're playing Tottenham Hotspurs and we're fucking putting in a half-assed performance, that's when it's too much for me. I'm sorry, it is. I'm not having it.
This is a good game because it won't take long, as Kat says here, right? Her son and her played a game on the way home. Name all your highlights of the season, right? So let's take it in turns and name a highlight. See who loses. See who can't answer. So I'm going to say Palace away.
Fucking hell, Newcastle.
Yes, I'd say Villa away in the league was a good performance.
But we lost though, right? But that's a positive.
No, we drew that. We drew that. We should have.
Oh, okay, in the league. Okay, all right. Then so Arsenal away, beating them 1-0 on their ground. That's obviously that was a good day as well.
I enjoyed, even though we lost away in the FA Cup to Villa.
It's now moving from wins and draws to losses that we've enjoyed.
No.
It kind of is going down that road. I'm with you on that because I was with you that game and I did enjoy that. I thought first half in particular we were very good and I thought we were unlucky to not go through. I did. Is that it?
It's your turn.
I just said, I kind of built on the Villa thing as well. I was kind of agreeing with you. I've got another. Okay. What else did I enjoy? Really enjoyed it when Peppa Pig made an entrance. First game of the beginning of the season when she walked on the pitch. That was brilliant. Loved that.
You're reaching there. So I reckon the Danny Ings equaliser in the last minute against Fulham in injury time was fucking brilliant because I was there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll give you that. Yeah. Okay. Fine. No, I'm done, mate. I've got no more positives to take. Sorry, I haven't.
Fulham at home. 3-2. Good performance. Good win.
It was all right. Yeah, it was all right. I mean, I don't know, mate. The truth is, actually, I don't know what it is. I think this season has given me some kind of fucking amnesia of some kind because I don't remember shit.
Everton away that we nearly won. Everton away.
No, it was all right. Yeah, it was okay, but nearly
Liverpool away that we nearly got a point out of.
We didn't get anything out of it, though, Gav. Why am I? How can we be looking at? How can we looking back and they're the highlight for us? I thought surely highlights should be wins. Surely highlights should be wins or absolute banging goals.
Not necessarily. You can't just be a fucking glory hunter, right? You can't just be a
glory hunter. How am I a glory hunter? I support West Ham. What are you talking about? There's nothing glory hunter about me, mate.
More so then, why can you fucking focus? How can you focus just on wins? What's happened there? I mean, West Ham win.
Okay, all right. Let's. Okay, what about? I don't know. Highlights of the season when it comes to goals. Good goals that we've seen, right? Go on, off you go. Go on.
Good goals that we've seen. Oh, fuck, this is a challenge. This is a challenge.
That's a real challenge, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, it's a fucking proper challenge. I'll tell you what, let's go back to Palace. I think there was a brilliant goal there where AWB played the ball inside to, who was it? I think it was to Fulkrug and oh no, Fulkrug made a diversion run and Bowen finished it, didn't he? Played Bowen in and he ran forward and slotted it away. That was a good goal. That was a good goal.
What? Bloody
I think it was the second goal away to Palace.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, bloody hell, man. I mean, like that's
the highlight. What do you want? You've asked me for good goals. What do you want me to do? Like
it wasn't that good. I'm talking like a proper good goal. Like I want.
Well, that was a proper good goal.
It wasn't that good, mate. Come on, it was not that good. Fulkrug made a decent run off the ball and Bowen tapped it in. Yeah, fucking hell, brilliant goal that was. Limbs all over the place. Yeah. I'm talking about a proper good goal, mate. Like like Emerson's when he banged that in top bins. Something like that. Last season. I'm
reading through these results, right? We lost the season. Oh, fucking hell. Brentford 1-1, Liverpool 5-1, West Ham 0, Chelsea 3. We beat Man United 2-1 somehow. Spurs 4-1, West Ham 4, Ipswich 1. We won 5-2 at home to. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? The Ipswich one. That's a game I didn't go to, funny enough.
It was, but it was like, I mean, Ipswich were awful though, mate. They were really, really bad. And funny enough, if I recall that correctly, Darren, that Ipswich game that we won 4-1, pretty sure that in the first half, Ipswich could have been 2 or 3 up. But we did beat them 4-1,
I don't think there have been any. I mean, no, I think Jared's winner against Arsenal was really good for the run from AWB. I thought that was really good wing play from him.
Yeah, that was.
Leicester, they were boring goals. Everton, we lost. Newcastle, we lost. 2 goals against Brighton next week. No, there weren't really anything to pick there, was there? No, the goals. You're right. The goals have all been shit. The goals have
been shit. Yeah, I mean, even if you've had a bad season, if there's like a couple of real good goals.
In the scheme of things, they've all been shit. So let's quickly wrap up and do the player ratings, right? We'll start with number 1, Alphonse Areola. What do you reckon, Chris?
Don't know, like pretty average performance, mate. He didn't have loads to do, did he? In all honesty, I mean, I don't think he did. The Spurs didn't really pose too much of a threat, did they? Really, I don't think the goal was. He couldn't have done anything about the goal because their fella had about half an hour to take that shot, didn't he? He was all on his own. So I think he just, I suppose, a 6. I mean, he didn't make any mistakes or anything. Oh no! Wait a minute. What the fuck am I talking about? I was talking to you about this at half time. Areola, what the fuck, man? He makes me nervous when they're passing that ball back to him.
Yeah. I think he should.
No, 5, fucking 5. Yeah,
that is a big problem that we've got with him. Is that we're supposed to be playing the ball out from the back. He just fucking lumps it. He lumps it.
They were pressing out the pitch though against him, and it was and you could see that he was lumping it. It wasn't going to anywhere. It wasn't going to any of our players. It was kind of 5 Areola. Second half, not as bad. First half, it weren't that great for that reason alone.
Cresswell, I'm going to give him a 7. I thought it was a good performance from him.
I mean, he didn't do anything wrong, did he? He didn't do anything wrong. I think he had one pass in particular made me laugh actually because he had the ball and he played it down the line and it went off for a throw and he put his hands up as if to say, "Why don't you go for that? Why don't you get that?" It was nowhere near Kadus would have got that. That made me laugh. I would say Cresswell. I'd probably 7 seems quite high. I'd give him a 6.5 because I do halves. I do half scale. You know, I do.
You can give him a 6.5 if you want, but the thing is, it's a 7.5. Darren, come on. It's taking advantage now. To Debo, I'll give him a 9. Yeah, Chris.
No, right. So to Debo, I mean, look, he wasn't as bad as Kilman. I thought in the first half some of his passing was a little bit off. That's why I had a bit of a problem with him at half time. That did annoy me a bit.
Moments. That's what he has, magic moments.
I'll give Todibo a 6. I'll give him a 6, mate. Nothing more than that. 6. I can't give him any more than that.
I'll give him a 6.5.
just to piss me off, wouldn't you? Just
There
to give him
was
that
some
0.5.
really good little magic moments from Tadibo today, right? Other than that, he sort of flattered to deceive, but there was a lovely bit of skill out by the byline down our end.
Stop it, Gal. Stop
It was,
it, please.
it was beautiful. It was beautiful. You did a survey at half time, and
Yeah.
it was largely Tadibo good, right?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I think it was half and half, mate. It was half and half. And I think, I don't know. No, it was definitely hard. And actually, the people that didn't say, like, oh, yeah, you had a bad game, it's just, no, he's been bad and good this season.
I emotionally blackmailed a 5-year-old girl as well, or a 6-year-old girl.
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. I noticed that. Yeah.
So, Kilman.
Kilman, oh, fucking hell, give him a 3. 3. He gets a 3 for those 3 mistakes that he made leading up to that bloody goal, and it was 3 mistakes. I'm sorry, 3. He's awful, mate. Today.
Other than that, he was quite good though, wasn't he, Chris?
Hey, brilliant. Yeah, other than that, he was fucking world class, mate. We just focus on the positives today. He gets a 3 for me. I thought he was poor today. Just that one. Sorry, just those 3 mistakes leading to that one goal is bad enough, mate. Seriously, just clear it, get it into the stands.
I think a 3 is absolutely deserved after that performance. I've got to say, absolutely. You can't make 1 mistake. 2 mistakes. It's bordering on deliberate. 3, you got to be dropped.
Oh, mate, honestly, you really do. Yeah.
The star, the hammer of the year, about to be knighted and crowned, Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Well, I just gave Kilman the score first, so I'll let you give AWP.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka is 8, my man in the match.
Yeah, me too. I think that's fair. I was worried you were going to go like a 9 or a 10, but no, I thought he was very good today. Very, very good.
Just because it's AWP, you take me for granted, right? You think I overcook it.
A little bit, yeah. I know you got a bit of a soft spot for him, but no, I would go with I think at 8 he's absolutely fair. He was our best player by far.
There's nothing he can't do.
Yeah, we'll look at that 10 from Cat.
If Ariola's struggling, well, it's well done, Cat. That's the spirit. 10 for AWP. The magnificent. He's been the highlight of the season by a fucking long way.
You got to stop. I tell you, got to stop saying that. The magnificent, because you were doing it at the beginning of the season. I remember the magnificent Mavropanos, the magnificent Guido Rodriguez.
No. That was like one off. But with AWB, I've been saying I love him.
All right.
To be fair, right?
Yeah,
9 from Jason and Obsidian. I'm going to go back and look at the old shows. Right, I reckon I called it in about October.
We should do like a highlights reel of all of the magnificence that you've done, like the magnificent Maverick, the magnificent. Because if you'd have watched that highlights reel, you'd be bloody hell. Did West Ham win the league this season?
I'd rather not see it. Emerson, Chris.
He was average, wasn't he, today? I thought he was very, very average. Didn't really do anything. Didn't stand out. I'd give him probably a 5 or a 6, mate. I can't give him much more than that. There's nothing really that I saw from him. Nothing.
Thomas Suchek.
Thomas potato salad himself.
It bypassed him today, the game, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's fast turning into like a season ticket holder like us, isn't he, really?
Well, I think he spent most of the time watching, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, I think probably a 5. He had 1 or 2 half-decent moments, but other than that, he's ineffective. He's just kind of a passenger, isn't he? You know, so
for his primary job, which was to work in central midfield, he was fucking so. It was like the Suchek of last season at times, or he's a traffic cone.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, he was, and I think midfield we were fucking poor today, weren't we? We were very poor in midfield. So no, you're right. I'll give him a 5, maybe nothing more than that.
Look at this Razor losing his temper, going AWB 8 for fuck's sake, 9. All right, 9. All right, since you swore at me, 6.5. No, I'm going to give him a 5 as well. I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, 5. I think that's fair.
Yeah, and can't call it. Get off the fence, Cat. Right, Lucas Paqueta.
I think Paqueta, for me, will get a 7 today because I thought there were some good moments from him. I thought he probably was, or he was, our only kind of creative outlet that we had in the team today. Yeah, he did have a few moments that are a little bit frustrating, but like I said earlier on, you know, well, you kind of get that with him, don't you? You know, I'm kind of accepting that. So I'll give him 7. 7, I suppose.
He'll be playing in the Everton midfield next week, and I like yesterday.
Who's playing the Everton midfield?
Thomas Tuchel could be playing in the
next week.
No, next season. So Mandy says Thomas looks like what we paid for him, 12 million. Yeah, I think he's a bread and butter footballer who does simple tasks very well and complex tasks not very well. Simple, isn't it? I don't dislike him for it. He's just a limited footballer, right? It is what he is. What did you give Paqueta? I would give him. I'll give him no more than a 6. I got to be honest. I think he did all right, but you know, I've got to take a point. I've got to dock a point for playing that ball around the corner and then walking, because he should have been fucking running after it after he's made that mistake. Yeah, because that's what people do when they lose a ball like that to someone who's in a breakaway, right?
Yeah, no, I know.
And I don't know what's going through his head, and I feel for him, of course I do. But I can only mark him on what I see, and I would have given him a 6, and so I'm going to take a point off for that bit of walking.
That's fair enough.
Yeah,
I might go along with that then, because I know exactly what moment you're referring to. I'll give him a 6.5. I'll give him a 6.5 then.
Yeah. His former love, by the way, went 2-0 up against Leicester yesterday, and then put 11 men behind the ball, and the game finished 2-2. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Look forward to next season. Sign of things to come. A high 6, Medici. Why not put ball players with Paqueta? Yes, like so. Yeah.
That's what we said earlier.
If you're gonna go for it should have been. Soler plays really well with him when it's an attacking formation. There was nowhere for. So this is partly the problem. I know he tried today, Paqueta. He didn't play badly by any stretch of the imagination, but when he's got nobody to aim to, he looks a bit average, because he still tries the balls, doesn't he?
Well, it's hard when you're playing with a midfield of Souček, and do you know what I mean? It is hard. I mean, you need someone else in there that complements his style of play, and unfortunately, Souček doesn't.
No, that's right.
There's James Ward-Prowse either.
Everton battling out for relegation next season. Oh dear God. Let's hope not. Bowen.
Bowen. Yeah, okay. So again, like I said earlier on, I thought that his work rate, I can't question today. He was the only player that I felt was pressing in the final thirds. He was. Yeah. So for me, I would give him these 0.5s, but I think he weren't as good as AWB today. But I'd give him probably a 7.5. Yeah, I'd give him a 7.5.
You've got Super David, boys. He knows exactly what you need.
Yeah, they can take Zuma at the back as well if they want him. He's going to be available next season. Take Zuma.
Bowen 7 for effort. Yeah, I'd give him about a 7, because I don't think he was brilliant. He scored the goal, and it was a good goal, and he was quite active early on, and he was decent in the second half. But
I'm giving it for work rate, Gal. Work rate alone, and that's the one thing that you can't
always get. Yeah.
You have to, and I respect that. And when I'm seeing other players standing there doing sod all, but Bowen running and chasing after that ball, that's what I want to see.
You can't knock his work rate, whereas his partner in back midfield, Kadus, you can. I'm going to give him a 4.
Yeah,
I thought he was fucking awful today. He looked like he could not be arsed.
He has moments, and that's the thing. But one moment versus fucking, 9 shit moments, because it's not good enough, mate. He had that one where he, floated it into the far, or pinged it into the far post that Fulkrug got his head on. That was it, mate. Apart from that, what else did he set up? Can't remember anything else.
He done nothing. That's why I call him one run Kadus. That's all he did all day. One run.
Such a shame. A shame.
Had a lot of tearing around and closing down, but he's primarily an attacker. And he is given license to be an attacker in that team, and he isn't.
I think I do feel like Mandy's got a good point there. Actually, leaving on the bench for Guilherme.
I'll do that. Yeah. I'll do that. Or worst case scenario, Mandy, I would have bought him on at half time today. Guilherme. Why not?
Exactly, because you'd imagine that Guilherme is going to be there for the longer term, right?
Yeah, the last half hour at least. The last half hour, right? Exactly. I mean, why not? Those substitutions fucking frustrated the life out of me. It was like saying we're happy with a draw.
Yeah.
It was. So lastly, the big German.
Yeah, I thought he played well today. I did.
Yeah, me too.
I thought his work rate was good. He's not going to be chasing down defenders, because that's not his game. He's not about pace, but he is about physicality, strength, holding the ball up, and I think he did that well. He was challenging aerially. He was pretty good. I'd give him a 7. I would give him a 7, because I think you can see that he is working for West Ham. He's working and he's trying. And again, like I said before, that's a prerequisite, mate. That's what they all should be doing. He should be out there working, and he was. So I'll give him a 7.
He was, and I agree with that. But one thing as well is he's good with his head. And yet, it's all they do is give him balls into feet.
I know. What's that all about?
Get the crosses in.
Yeah. What did we say when we did the pre-match thing? I said, if you're going to play Fulkrug, you've got to play 2 wingers whipping the ball in. And we're amazingly, as soon as Fulkrug went off, I think there was a ball that was whipped into the box. I know we had a free kick, didn't we? We had a free kick that JWP had, right? And he thought, fuck me, this is when you need him. He just came off.
I'll tell you what, the fans love him. I mean, halfway through that second half, he was running through central midfield, and he went like that to the crowd, and the crowd started singing.
Yeah, no, he's become a bit of a fan's favourite, isn't he?
He's got us on a remote control, that geezer.
Yeah, no, I'm loving Fulkrug right now, mate. I am. I
like his mentality. He came out at the end barefoot and walked towards the Bobby Moore, even though there was no fans there, and clapped people with his boots hung around his neck, 70s style. Yeah. You know, fucking quality.
I noticed the old can I have your shirt brigade are out a lot today. Did you see that? Loads of
yeah.
It was funny. There was a kid in front of me, and there's a kid in front of me, and he had a Thomas Souček, right? He created, bless him, he created this massive sign. His parents must have helped him do it. Oh, yeah. Can I have your shirt? But they'd done it on the back of a cardboard box, and the cardboard box was a bin. So it was actually, like a bin. You bought a bin. It had a bin inside it, basically. And all the fans were saying, turn it around the other way around. It's just a picture of a bin, like showing a bin instead. But he did. I don't understand why players don't give their shirts to these kids a little bit more. I know it's a bit annoying when you see them.
They all should. They should all be giving their shirts.
Shouldn't they, man? Like, it's whatever. It's nothing. I mean, Bowen came over and he gave his shirt to a little kid in front of us at the end of the game.
Soufal did as well.
Yeah, I saw that, but Souček didn't, and he does sometimes. But I just think every game, just take the shirt off and give it, man. Like, what's the problem?
Does most of the time, actually. But they should. What fucking skin is it off their nose? But you know what it is? They give those shirts to the club, and the club auctions them off.
Yeah, I know. Because one of my mates got a couple of them as a result of that, because he was sponsoring West Ham. He still does, and he had a couple of shirts. I've got one of. I've got James Ward-Prowse's match-worn shirt. His sweaty match-worn shirt at home.
Kat, go to the website. They'll be running online auctions, and you'd be surprised how the price mysteriously goes up.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't do that, Kat, because seriously,
I'm not suggesting it's a fix, but it's a fix.
Yeah, forget that. Honestly, it's disgusting. And even if you go into the club shop, and I did go into club shop a couple of weeks ago, but I think it was earlier in the season. I was looking at some of the signed frame shirts, and I could not believe the price of them, Gal. They were like upwards of £700-800 for like a Mark Noble signed frame shirt.
Should we start doing fake ones? Ones? All I've got to do is match war, and I just got to fucking run around the garden, roll on the floor, right?
Yeah.
And then do some fake signatures on it, right? It'll smell of sweat, and it'll be perfect, right?
but you can buy like these shirts from Mark Noble signed in a frame elsewhere, but the club seems to stick about £400-500 on top of what the actual real price should be. I think it's disgusting, mate. I can't believe they would charge that much.
The only problem is, right, if we start a business like that, and then you're away on holiday and we get an order for a Somerville shirt, I've got to get myself into a Somerville shirt.
That might be a bit of a squeeze, mate.
Might be a bit of a squeeze.
No, with all due respect, mate. You might, it might be a few rips down there. Wouldn't they? Like split it all tried it, mate. But no, honestly, I don't understand why players can't do that a little bit more. Actually, I don't. I think it's such a minor thing. And here's another thing. Just before we go for the subs or whatever, I saw a video the other day on social media of Lucas Paqueta zooming out of the training ground. All kids are, can I have your autograph? No, fuck off, And on top of that, here's another one, right? Here's another one. I saw a video of Guido Rodriguez signing autographs, and some geezer come out with a little thing goes, no, I'm not signing that. Weren't allowed to sign it because it was some kind, I don't know, like a match card or something.
You see this, right? That there's £500 for a James College signed photo. Now, you could buy a shirt, right? You could spend a tenner on a ticket to one of these nights where James Collins is talking, right? Queue up at the end, get him to sign the fucking shirt, and there you go. £40 for the shirt, £10 for the ticket, £50. Save yourself 90%.
Do you know what these guys do nowadays, mate? Right, what they do is they buy the numbers. Okay, so you get these autograph hunters. They're fuckers, right? So they have like about 10 number ones, for instance. They'll hang around outside the training ground. They'll get to sign it and they'll stick him on the shirt. So it might be number 11, Fulkrug, for instance, or whatever it's going to be. So it's not really, all they've done is signed that thing and they just make money out of it. And they're flogging these things for a lot of money, mate. They are. And I think it's wrong. So I can understand if like players see that, they'd be like, I signed one, but I'm not going to you can see when these geezers are going to try and sell these things on. And there's a lot of them going around, mate. There's a load of them going around.
Gary, it's a photo though, mate.
Photo of Ginger Pele for £500.
It's a photo.
That's disgusting. That is so wrong. That is so wrong.
That is ridiculous. Well, even better, right? You get a photo of Ginge for about print it up at home. You know,
Yeah, Darren, if you're after one, I've got Ginger Collins' autograph. I'll send you the photo for £100, mate. No problem. No problem at all.
There you go, 80% off. 80% off.
80% off here through the Bobby Moore stand.
Chris is running a sale from his shed.
I've even got. I'll tell you what. I've got Max Kilman's signed shirt. I've got Nicholas Fulkrug signed shirt.
That'd be a rarity.
I've got Vladimir Sufals. I've got so many signed shirts, man. I don't know what to do with them. I don't even know what to do with them. They're literally. I want to hang them up in my cabin, but there's not enough room.
You need to stop showing off, Chris.
I do. I'm a big show off, man. Big show off. Do you want one of them sticking behind you? I ain't got Kilman shirt.
No, well, you know, if you want to give me one.
Was your Jeff Hurst shirt? I thought you were going to stick that behind you. What happened with that?
For fuck's sake, Chris, you said order one of these frames, right? Because they're really small.
I never said they're really small. It's smaller than the fucking thing you had, mate. The thing you had was the size of you. So
it's you 2 inches smaller. It's that much smaller.
Well, you can't get them much smaller than that, Gal. So what? You're not using it?
It's outside. I ain't mounted the shirt upon it.
Oh, come on, man! It's not. It's really not. It's not. It's the standard size. Like, you know, the shirts that I've got behind me in my cabin, they're all that size. You can't get them much smaller than that.
Jeff Hurst shirt's becoming a money pit for me, Chris. No, I'm going to sort it out this week. I'm going to sort it out.
Do it. It's easy. Did you get the plaque done as well? Designed, like, signed by Jeff Hurst and stuff.
No.
Why? That's free, right? When you order it, you say what you want, and they print it out on the plaque, and they do it for you.
On the other one.
Yeah, but that plaque may not fit on the fucking frame.
It's better
oh, bloody hell, mate. Honestly, you're not. I bet you ain't going to do it. I bet you're not going to do it, mate. I bet you're not.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Be angry next time. Yeah, anyway, look, we don't have to make a show for a while now. We're going to do one ahead of the Man United game next week, aren't we? Because we're going up there on the Sunday. We won't do one on the Sunday because we're going to be travelling home.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
If it's a good game, we might do a late one. But we won't, will we? Might record a bit. Now, let's just record a bit of a in-car show on the way home, shall we?
Like carpool karaoke or something.
Yeah, let's do that.
Some West Ham songs. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'll bring my camera. Yeah.
Oh, sounds good. Yeah.
I heard you're a very good singer, so you've told me on countless
top drawer, Chris. Top drawer, not soft drawer. Top drawer.
So expect big things. Expect big things from Gary. Is it like an opera type of voice, mate? I mean, what kind of voice?
Well, I can't describe it. It's indescribable.
Unique.
I'm
excited, man. I'm probably more excited to hear you singing than I am watching West Ham play next weekend now. So yeah,
you should be. It'll be fun, Chris, because it's talent. And talent doesn't come by very often, does it?
It doesn't, mate.
No. Let's thank you everybody for watching. Thanks everybody in the chat for your lovely comments. Thank you, Claire, for being a mod. He's bodging the mods as well. Have I got to thank him as well?
He's been moaning a little bit tonight. He's been moaning a bit. I've seen moaning. Yeah. I think he was moaning anyway.
Moan. That's all you do, Bodge. Right. Anyway. All right. Well, look, it is what it is, right? Another pre-season friendly. Sorry, another friendly is over with. 3 more friendlies to go. Starting with Man United on Sunday, where I've got a funny feeling Mohamed Kadus is going to turn up, and we're going to turn him over.
I think the only thing that's turning up are me and you, mate. That's it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, look, cheers, Chris.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you, everybody. See you soon. Kilman.